Welcome everybody to the Hyperion Solutions Conference. My name is Carter Beaton. I am a senior consultant with ArganoInterRel. I have been with InterRel for, let's say, about 2.5 years now. But I've been working in the BI space for probably about 20+ years. I know, I still look like, I'm in my 20s, but I didn't start at birth. And today we're going to try some cutting edge solutions with Oracle Analytics. What I'd like to do is take us to build a data flow and create an Essbase cube on the fly. Then we're going to go into building a quick project. And from the quick project, we're going to go ahead and drill into some of that data, and then take that and drill back into the relational data, which is usually our largest data source. As an introduction to ArganoInterRel, we are a 5-time EPM Analytics Partner of the Year. We have 3 Oracle ACE directors, an Oracle ACE and an Oracle ACE alumni. And I actually work with 2 of our Oracle ACE directors directly in the analytics practice, which I'm pretty excited to have that experience with me. We are an award-winning company with Oracle. We've won 5 times, 5-time winner of the Oracle BI EPM, 2019 Oracle Analytics Partner of the Year, and 2019 Oracle Global and North America Partner of the Year. So really exciting company to work with. We do a lot of work in strategy, consulting, staffing, infrastructure, cloud training, press, and support. We have key partnerships with our Oracle Cloud Excellence Implementer, Oracle Platinum. We're an Oracle Platinum partner and a Oracle Cloud Select partner. And considered one of the most experienced in 150+ EPM cloud specializations, multiple cloud firsts, including Essbase Cloud, EPBCS, our planning clouds, and our consolidation practices. And we also do Oracle Analytics Cloud, which will show you a little bit of that today. Oops, moving a little fast here. Click the button there. A net promoter score of 77%. Now, on average, system integrators usually get about 24%. Global system integrators go down to 9%. So we're doing a great job here for all of our clients at a 77%, which is considered a world-class score. What does that mean for you? Well, we're going to bring, very rewarding and satisfaction to you guys here. We hold ourselves to a high standard of excellence, and we're committed to building the best solutions that fit your business. And we will sit down and find out the best and most efficient way to build a solution before we get to it. And we aim to make that 77% go up in the future here. So let's get started and talk about what's on our agenda. So I'm going to be working primarily with data visualization. And even though we will be building a cube, we're going to actually do that out of data visualization. I'm not going to go in and do any cube modifications or anything. It's going to show you what it looks like from a basic standpoint. But what I really like about this is we're able to go in and say you want to do a quick aggregate storage cube. You want some aggregate tables on a large data set. and from your ADW relational database, and you want to be able to, build projects or quickly build some analysis to sift through your data. And lots of times with those large data warehouse data sets, you tend to have to sit there and wait for the database to figure out what you're asking for. So we're gonna, start with doing a data viz overview. Then we're going to set up some connections, or I'm actually going to show you the connections we have set up. I've already preset those up, and then show you a little bit about the data prep inside of our data sets. Then we're going to do some data flows to actually create this Essbase cube. We'll create a quick project, do some drilling inside that project, and then we will set up a drill to detail project, which we will be able to take our Essbase cube-based project and drill into that, back into the ADW with some to the detailed information without having to sift through all the data. And then at the end, we'll wrap up with some questions if you guys have any, maybe explore some more in the data visualization. So why data viz? It's kind of the big question. Well, data viz, has a self-service tool, and it allows you access to multiple data sources, which is, I think, very key here. Like I said, I'm going to be getting data from our Oracle ADW, or Autonomous Data Warehouse, which resides in the cloud, data, but you can also get data from other sources like a SQL Server database or on-prem databases. It has some very powerful visualizations, and it does have some nice techniques that will allow you to go in and do some analysis into your data if you want, into your data, or you can stop and create very nice looking projects that we can display as dashboards, or have users use into that to give you a nice robust set of information. And this will allow us to effectively dig through a lot of that data. If anyone is from the Excel world, and I'm pretty sure everybody is at this point, sometimes just looking at all these tables can get, all that tabular data can get a little bit confusing trying to find some of the information that you want to see. So data viz is a nice way to take data and go on and get in there and do some of your data analysis. So I'm going to go ahead and switch over to my my screen here, my data viz screen. And like I said, it's a cloud-based application, so it's nice. It sits right here on my Chrome. And just give you guys a quick overview what that looks like. So when you log into data visualization, you'll probably see a screen similar to this. And it breaks down into different sections here, just to give you kind of a quick view of the most recently accessed or saved items that you have access to. And then it'll split it between the most recent projects worked on, and some data sets, and some data flows, and reports and dashboards, which actually comes from our BI part of the product. Now, Oracle Analytics Cloud is kind of multiple products built into one that work with each other. Data viz is one of them. Our BI, or also known as OBIEE, is another one of the products. And then our Pixel Perfect Reporting, which is also known as BI Publisher, also resides within the same system. So you have a lot of different BI tools that work together in here, and we will be focusing on this part of OAC, which is the data visualization portion. So this is your front screen, and over here on your stack menu bar to the left, If you click on that, you'll get a nice little menu, nav menu. And from here, you can go into your catalog, some of your data. They even have machine learning applications that are built into here. Some jobs where you can run some of your data flows or update your data sets data, and then your console is your administration tool. We're going to be focusing in on mostly inside of your catalog and data area, and pretty much mostly in the data area, but your catalog is where you save all your projects. So when you're in the catalog, you have two main areas. You have your folders, and you see I have some projects in here, and these are only visible to you. So if you want to, if you're running some tests or you just want to do a quick analysis and you don't need to share that to the group, you can save that in your My folders. And then here in the shared folders, this is where all the different folders are available to share different projects and dashboards for your department or clients, or however you guys have the security set up. So it's pretty simple where your catalog area is and stored. In your data section here, if you guys haven't worked with data visualization, you have about 5 different main areas. We're going to work in the data sets, connections, and data flows area. Your data sets is where you access all your data. And as you can see from the different icons, you can have different sets of data stored in here. So you can have cubes stored, you can have data connections directly to your database data sets from your database, excuse me. You can even, this is a scheduled job that we have in that runs monthly, that updates the daily sales cycle. And then you can even bring in your own spreadsheets and take that data and build projects off your own spreadsheets. In your connections, this is where you can access all the different types of connections that you may have. You can have multiple connections to ADWs. You can have connections to, we have an on-prem SQL Server connection here, and you can have connections to cubes and planning, etc. So this is where you will set those up, and I'll show you what one of the screens looks like when we begin. And then in your data flows, so the data flows allow you to take different sources of data, say coming from one of your connections or your data sets, and then allows you to be able to manipulate that data for, you might want to do some data cleaning up, you may want to add some calculations, and then for us in this particular case, we're going to actually create an Essbase cube through a data flow. And then over here, back to the data sets, and we are going to switch over to our next tab here, which is creating the connections and prepping our data. So in our data sets, in our connections, we would create a connection to our data warehouses or different data sources, as I mentioned before. So I have a connection here that goes to an AdventureWorks data warehouse. Now, if you guys have been in the field for a little while, you may have heard of AdventureWorks, but you probably haven't heard it in Oracle database. It actually was a data set, sample data set that originated from Microsoft. And what I did was go ahead and import that into the ADW so we can have access to it on the cloud. I'm going to right click on here and click on inspect. And here's where you would set up a new connection. When you set up a new connection, you want to give it a name, possibly a description if necessary. Since I am connecting to a new Oracle data warehouse here, and I'll show you what the different types of connections are. Create a data set. I don't want to do that. I want to create a connection. Cancel. Create a connection. So in here, in your create a connection section, it gives you an idea of all the different types of data sources that you can create data sets for. And for the Autonomous Data Warehouse, they have a nice little button here, and we can click in and put in our username and password. I'm going to open this back up, and then here with the ADW, they provide us with a wallet to connect to the cloud source. So you'll drag that in there, add in the information, choose the different type of source from the TNS names here, and then you can also give it access. So you can also say, you know, these are you know, only accessible by specific members through specific roles. You can say that they can have, you know, read only, so they can only be able to pull the data out of that connection, but they won't be able to change any information. Read write, they can change information if they want to, and then full control allows them to, you know, be able to do all of the above, and including, you know, removing these connections if necessary. So, so after the connections are done, which I've already set up a connection to our AdventureWorks data warehouse, specifically in our AdventureWorks internet sales data model. I'm going to right click on here just to note, if you're new to DV, if you click on it, it'll take you right to a project, which is the first item here. You can right click on it, or you can see these little 3 dots very far to the right will also give you the sub menu. And we're just going to go ahead and jump right into opening up this data set so I can give you a view of what that data prep looks like. And if you ever have time, you can read the nice little Oracle jokes that pop up in between different screens. So what happens here is underneath the AdventureWorks data warehouse, you're going to get the different schemas that we have access to. And I want the AdventureWorks DW. And from that schema, now we can see all the different tables that are available to us. I've gone ahead and created a data model here. You just double click, you can drag and drop. And this is a fairly new feature. I think it came in the last version of OAC, or maybe the version before. But I love this feature because it allows us to now, instead of creating multiple data sets and then bringing them in through a data flow, we can now build a full-blown data model inside of here and create one data set. This is essential because when you're working with, you know, relational models, you get data from, you know, all kinds of places. As you see, I have quite a few tables inside of here. Then we can set up our joins in here. If you, you know, understand a little bit about your data modeling, you can set up the joins to the different keys that you need to set up to, and this will allow you to do, you know, all kinds of joins. You can do your basic inner, outer, left, and right joins. You can add multiple join connections, etc. Now, I feel that the main power of data visualization allows self-service data. In the recent past, you know, you'd have to put in a request to IT, and then they would have to build the models out and create, you know, the table set that you needed, and then you have multiple data marts that you have to access, and you know, sometimes you get locked into a specific model, and you lose control of, you know, being able to access the data that you want to access. And so this tool will give you the power to access that data. You don't have to build the full data model if you don't want to, but if you have the full data model built out, you can pick and choose what you want, as you'll see when we built this Essbase cube. And then down here at the bottom, this just kind of gives you an overview of all the columns that are available now. And then by double clicking on one of these columns, for example, the internet sales fact, which is our main table of measure here, it will jump into this screen here, and at the top, I love this view. It gives you a nice view of what the data looks like. from a visualization standpoint, and then gives you a sample of the data that you're looking at here. It won't load the whole table for you, but it will give you quick access. But it does these metrics on the side, which are key. Probably won't do too much for you on the facts then side, because you're dealing with a bunch of keys that you may not, really know what these lead to. But they, for example, they brought in this order date, and I can go ahead and click in here and select certain things. Let's say on the order cell side, if I click in on number 2, then it will filter that out and kind of give me an idea of what the rest of the metrics look like. Filter out. Do this today. All right, it's sticking in on me here. But it should filter out for us and give us an idea of a summary of the rest of the metrics. I think it's busy digging through this data model. So we'll see if we can find something that's a little smaller. Oops, I didn't want to click back. All right. Hey, already found some gremlins. Let's go ahead and open that back up. So by the way, this back button here is kind of the main back button for DataViz, as opposed to clicking the back button here on your screen. Although they do say this one does take you back to the same place. This one will bring you back to that previous screen that we came from. Let's jump into product here. And what's nice about this view here is it also gives you some areas where you can do some data prepping. They bring up some recommendations already on the right. They'll look through your data and see if there's any information that you may see. You may find that this information, these recommendations are really great for extracting things from dates. If you want to extract certain things, let's say like in this product name, you can just go ahead and click right on through it. They have some for the measure unit. They they'll enrich the weight unit with the measure code and things like that. So you can actually add extra columns in there and kind of build out your data set. You can also down here on the bottom here, it's time we're at 123. Okay, so let me go ahead and hurry up and get building here. I don't want to spend too much time dealing with this because I want to get in here and start showing you guys what this looks like. So after our data model is built out, we're going to go ahead and we've got a connection set up, and the 2 connections we're going to use are from the ADW, and then I'm going to use this Essbase 21C CB, and that would be for my initials there. And we're going to go over here to create, and we're going to create a data flow now. So now once we get into the data flow, it's going to ask us what data set we're going to use. And we want to use this AdventureWorks internet sales model here. So we're going to click on that. And then the first thing it's going to do is it's going to tell us, hey, you need to select the column. So you're going to go ahead and then select the columns you want. It doesn't want to assume that you want every single one, because you can see all of those columns that we brought in have been flattened. So we're going to go in and select, we want to grab our amount from our internet sales fact. And then I want to go into product. As you can see, it gives you the table name over here and the column name. I've hidden some values from view, but they will show back up here if you want access to them or need access to them, like the keys. They will pop back up. So I'm going to go here, product, and I'm going to grab the product name. Let's get down here and grab this model name. And get my product category name, subcategory name, and then we're going to pass by all this detail information. We're going to, after we select the territory information, pass by all of this detail. We don't want to bring in customer, it's too detailed. And then I've added order dim or order date dim from the fact that gives us more details about the date, breaks down a lot of information. So I'm going to go ahead and grab our quarter, calendar year, calendar quarter, and our month. And I think that's all we need for right now. And this is the other detailed information that we won't need. Now, from there, we're going to go ahead and add ourselves a filter to this data, because I want to go ahead and filter. Actually, I'm going to add a column here. Let's see how this works out. We're going to go ahead and add a column. Found a little bit of a gremlin in here. I'm going to go here. I'm going to grab calendar year and rename it calendar year 1. That's going to add in the rename columns here. And I'm going to add a column from calendar year 1. And as you can see, I can drag from columns here, or I can actually, yeah, we're going to drag from columns here. We're going to say add column. And then from here, inside of the script area, I'm just going to do a duplicate here and rename this column, and I'll show you why later. Then we're going to go ahead and hit apply. Actually, I like to do a validate here. If you do more complicated scripts, case statements and concat fields and things like that, you want to do an apply. After you get a green validation there, and it'll add a new column in here for us. There's a little progress bar we see on the right. Okay, and then after we do that, I want to actually filter some of this data down. This data goes throughout North America and Europe, and I actually only want to see data from the United States and I only want to see bikes. The company sells bikes primarily, and they also sell some accessories and some clothing, a little extra, a little merch to go with the bikes. So we want to focus our data only on the United States, and only want to see the sales for the bikes. And remember, the point here is we want to create an aggregate queue. This data is moving pretty fast. It's not as large as most warehouse data would be, but when you start dealing with millions and millions of rows at the day level, the consumer level, customer level, trying to sift through the data can really bog you down, even if you do have filters on your data when you're doing your analysis. So we're going to create this aggregate table that helps sum up some of this sales information for us. I'm going to grab country here on the filter. Now my time is 1:29. All right. We're going to choose United States. I'm going to go ahead and grab another filter here for our product category. And I'm going to choose bikes. And it pops up. All right. So now that filter's all done, then we're going to go ahead and grab an aggregate pill here. Yes, I did steal that word, but word pill from Tableau, if anybody's familiar with Tableau. Then what that does is going to give us a list of columns that it sees as measures that we can do, or numbers that we can do aggregations on. In this case, it found the only measure that we have. I'm going to rename that just to sales amount. And then down here on the right, it's going to ask what we want to group by. Now, technically, you don't have to group by everything, but for the cube that we're going to build, we do want to do that. If you want to group by more information, you can add group, but it will only give you a list of columns that are available to you here. So after that aggregate has been created, we're going to go ahead and build us or create a Essbase cube out of this. Now, here's where you are going to select the connection to your Essbase cube. And this is the one we already have set up. So you want to have your Essbase cube connection set up before you go to this. This does only work in the Essbase cloud. So right now it doesn't write to a on-prem Essbase cube. It will only write to a Essbase cloud cube. After you grab your connection, you want to give it a name. And do some copy and paste in here. And then from here, you want to go ahead and customize that cube. And I'm going to actually say full data. And then we're going to hit configure. And what configure will do is it'll run through its all your data sources and your measures and kind of take a guess at how it should build the hierarchy for the cube. And then once it comes up, we can make some adjustments to it. All right, so we've loaded up some data. We'll go ahead and push this down. If at any moment you want to, you can always hide the cube here or hide your data. And in here, it created some dimensions and the measures as it sees that it thinks that, you know, we want to organize this. So what I want to do is I want to reorganize this into the proper hierarchy that I want to see. You can also, let's see if we can go ahead and take calendar year, cut that out and make it a sibling. Calendar year 1 actually would like to, so this is what I really want to do. I'm going to skip this one. And I'm going to cut the quarter out. And I'm going to paste that as a child. And then cut the month out and paste that as a child. And then you can see here you have a drop down if you want to make these attributes, aliases, or UDAs to the dimension. Under category name, we want category name, and then we want the subcategory name to go in after that. So we're going to cut that, paste that in as a child. Now, if you play around with this, you'll find that you can do some dragging and dropping, but it's not ready yet. Not quite ready yet. It's a lot easier to just cut these out and paste them into the proper order. And then under group is going to go sales territory group, country, and then region goes in after that. So real basic. This is child. Okay, so now that that's set up, we go ahead and build our cube. This shouldn't take too long. First, you need to save it. I'm going to go ahead and save that. I'll call this ADW AdventureWorks cube data flow. And then, of course, we can put in the description. Then I'm going to go ahead and save that and run that. And Hopefully there will be no gremlins showing up. There shouldn't be. While that's running. Question, is there any limitations to the size of the data set? Yes and no. I believe it's 50 megabytes if you're bringing in a data set from, let's say, a spreadsheet. But if you're bringing in a data set from a data data source such as a relational database, you actually have the option to set that as a live feed. So it's really more of a metadata view of that data, and with some sample data in the back end. And what they'll do is when the data set is actually requested information, it will go in and bring back whatever you asked it to bring into. But as you build your projects and your visualizations, the more information you have that it needs to process, the longer, of course, it's going to take to have to render that data in the different views and build those different objects. And let me know if that answered your question there. So the cube was built, which is awesome. So we're going to go ahead and go into our Essbase application here. I'm just going to hit the full refresh button just to make sure we're not logged out. And as you can see, oh, there's an AdventureWorks demo here. This is what we built. We'll expand that, and we'll see our AWUSA bytes. And we'll go ahead and give you kind of a preview of the outline of what was built. So this is the outline that was built in here from the data set. And we see our sales amount, and then we see our product. Category, and they'll take that product dimension. It'll take us down to the product name, our sales territory. So we go into region. United States. Oh, did I do this backwards? No, hope not. No, North America, United States, and then our different regions. Now there is some geographical data that's based off the customer data information, but one of the limitations in our DB projects is we won't be able to take our data and directly from a cube and create geolocation sources on it. And we may not have time to explore that. I only have a few more minutes here. But now that that's been created, we're going to go ahead and back out of this data flow here. And on our data sets, you see that refreshed. DataViz was kind enough to go ahead and create a connection directly to that cube for us. So we don't have to go back into connections and create a new data set from the Essbase 21C cube I have here. It went on ahead and created that cube for us, and we can just go ahead and click that cube. And that will bring up DataViz inside of a project here, and here are our elements. I'll go ahead and expand that and bring out our sales amount. So now for so many years, we've made almost $9 million, which is super awesome. I think I'm gonna go make me a bike company after I'm done with this presentation. And now we can go ahead and break down some of that information from that cube that we see. So we can bring in our calendar year if we want. We can bring that in as a table, and then we can, as a hierarchy, and then we can break down that calendar year as a hierarchy and drill into this. That'd be quarters. And then here are our months, 1, 2, 3. And we can see this information as a hierarchy, or we can bring it in as a, take out that calendar year, and we can bring in a calendar year. Whoops, I did it again, didn't I? Okay, and guess what? They have an undo button. If you guys like undo buttons, I know I do. I'm actually going to, so this generation here is gonna slow me down a little bit. So I'm going to create this calendar year, and I'm gonna bring in calendar. And I'm gonna replace this guy with this guy here. And I'll show you why, trying to avoid some gremlins. And then we can go ahead and add in our country, which is always the United States. Bring in a region. I brought in region twice. The country is always United States. I'll create a filter on that really quickly. I want to switch these two so we can go ahead and grab that and do a quick flip across the top here. And then I'll bring in that territory into our rows. So we can get an idea of where those internet sales are. Running on a countdown here. Let's go ahead and save this project really quickly here. Project. Let's save that too. And I'm going to grab this data set here. Give me 1 second. I'm going to try to build a detailed query really quickly that we can drill into. I'd like you guys to see that part before we run out of time here. 3 minutes may not be enough. So, you know, with that 3 minutes, what I'm going to do is really quickly highlight how we would be able to drill into it. I'm on a countdown here. Come on, let's go to home. I apologize for taking up so much time. So from here, if we want to drill into, we actually are going to create what is called a data action. When we add in that data action, we'll give it a name, and then we'll choose a, let's say an analytics link. And then here, we can skip anchor to. Anchor to just means that a specific value from your data set will always be carried over. We can drill into multiple canvases down here at ADW if you want to. You can combine multiple sources like the cube and the relational data source, or we can choose a different project, for example, and select from catalog, and it'll give you the options to go in here to shared folders. And to an ADW demo. And I'm just going to go ahead and, oh, the cube project is the only one there, which is the one I saved. So we can always go in and grab any of the projects here that we need to use. I didn't have time to create a detailed report here, so I don't want to grab the same project. So I'll just grab anybody just so you can see this pop up. But then we would click OK. And then when we right click on here, we'll get a new menu item called new data action. And when you click on that, that will take the items that you have in this filter, and that will drill you over into the detailed report. And in the future, what I can do is create a another video showing you guys how to drill in from your Essbase relational source to your ADW source. I think I am out of time. Any questions anybody has for me, please let me know. I see. Thank you. You guys are welcome. Okay. I don't see any questions here. So I guess I will turn it over to Brianna and Robin. Thank you guys for joining. I really appreciate your time, and I hope I've given you guys some things to work on with these cutting edge solutions that OAC is bringing to us these days.
Yes, thank you all for attending us today for day one of the Hyperion Solutions Conference, the Variant Tour. We will begin tomorrow promptly at 10 a.m. Central for day two. And tomorrow's tracks will include planning solutions, closed solutions, and edge solutions. So we look forward to seeing you all tomorrow, and enjoy the rest of your day. And again, thank you for attending day one of the Hyperion Solutions Conference. Thank you all. Have a great day.
Thank you guys. Have a great day.